Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Soundtrack. This time it's Heroes of Might and Magic. So unlike last time when I did The Secret of Monkey Island, I was being very generous with the inclusion of different musical pieces. This time I'm going to honor the structure created by Aqualung in his original Ranking the Soundtrack, and this time I'm only including themes that you actually hear during the gameplay. So that means none of the victory or losing themes, the opening theme, or any of the menu themes. I'm also excluding all of the map themes, mostly because a lot of these don't have very memorable melodic parts, and a lot of them are just mostly sound effects anyway. So the themes that are being considered for the ranking this time are the 4 town themes or castle themes, and then the 4 different battle themes. And let's get on with the ranking. At rank number 8, it's the Warlock Town. Now this might come as a bit of a surprise, because if you remember my review of this game, I mentioned how the Warlocks are my favorite faction, but I've never really liked the Warlock Town theme. It's just a bit of a downer. With all the other town themes, I feel that whenever you go into the town view, or the castle view, it's always kind of exciting and refreshing. The Warlock Town is really the only one, really just kind of takes you out of the game momentarily. Not that I don't mind the management aspect of this game. And at the very least I can say that the theme is very fitting, but yeah, just never been a huge fan of this one. At rank number 7, it's Battle Theme 4. Now out of all the battle themes, this one really just doesn't stand out. It's very quiet, very low-key. In some ways I kind of like it because it has a very foreboding atmosphere. It's exactly the kind of piece of music like you would hear in a fantasy movie like Lord of the Rings, just before like a big battle scene was about to happen with danger looming in the distance. It does have that kind of vibe, but it's kind of dull, to be honest. There just isn't a lot of kick to it, and compared to all the other battle themes, it just kind of trudges along. There really isn't much in the way of structure with this one. At rank number 6 is Battle Theme 3. Now, talking about a lack of structure, Battle Theme 3 is like the jazz free-for-all of all the battle themes. I mean, I like it slightly better than Battle Theme 4, just because it has a little bit of kick to it. I do like all the different flutes in this one. It really sounds appropriate for the different barbarian battles. But like I said, unlike Battle Themes 1 and 2, this one just does not have a melodic structure to begin with. It does come to a close towards the end of the cycle, but it is just kind of all over the place. It really just kind of sounds like noise to me. And the only thing that it has over the previous 2 songs really is that it's so much more up-tempo. At rank number 5, it's the Barbarian Town. Now if there's any piece of music in this game that feels dramatically out of place, it has to be the Barbarian Town theme. You would think, especially with the different battle themes, that this one would be filled with a lot of percussion and maybe even some ethnic sounds, but really it's just this crazy loop on the harpsichord, and then it starts to sound like a concerto. Now don't get me wrong, I love classical music, but I really can't understand why they chose this theme specifically for the Barbarian Town. On the other hand, compared to the Warlock theme, this one does have a lot of kick to it. The Barbarian Town is visually not very pleasing. So when you suddenly have this piece of music just elevating it, it really does make you kind of chirp up and pay attention. So yeah, maybe not the most fitting piece of music, that's why it ends up on the lower half of the ranking, but easily the best of the pieces I've ranked so far. At number 4, it's the Night Town theme. Now, this theme is just pure nostalgia for me because, as I mentioned in my review of the game, when I was a kid I tended to play the knights more than the other factions just because I thought that's what you should do. It's a very laid-back, very friendly piece of music. You always feel very safe when you listen to it when you come to the Knight's Town. And yeah, it does have a very sing-songy melody, but that's the reason I kinda like it. Now I do remember that during those very intense horn parts on our old Windows 95 machine, the speakers would actually crackle a little bit, suggesting that there was maybe some audio issues, but I definitely don't have that problem with my current computer anymore. I think it's easily the most pleasant piece of music from the game. As such, it's not very dramatic or powerful, but I definitely like it more than the Barbarian Town theme at any rate, so that's why it ended up at rank 4. At rank number 3, it's Battle Theme 2. Battle Themes 1 and 2 really are my favorite piece of music, and number 2 does have a nice progression compared to Battle Themes 3 and 4, which kind of lack structure or are maybe a little too downplayed. This one has a clear intention, and I really do like those powerful flute sounds in this one. The only reason I probably don't like Battle Theme 2 is that it kinda sounds like a reprise of Battle Theme 1. That is to say, you can kinda hear that this is the piece of music that is meant to be played after Battle Theme 1. Structurally, there isn't nothing wrong with it, but I think Battle Theme 1 just has a much better progression up the scales, where it begins with the basic percussion melody and then builds up to the dramatic orchestral hits. Not to say Battle Theme 2 doesn't have great orchestral hits, it absolutely does, especially towards the end of the cycle. But I think it starts too early on the high notes, and that's one of the reasons why it doesn't quite stand out to me the same way as Battle Theme 1. And speaking of which, at rank number 2, it's Battle Theme 1. This is the piece of music I always associate with this game the most. Those hard percussion hits, and especially just the gradual build-up of the battle theme, is why this one is my personal favorite. Also, the main melody is just the main thing that I always associate with battles in this game. None of the other 3 battle themes, even though I like them in different scenarios and they do add much needed variety, this one is always my favorite when it comes up. Easily, in my view, the most memorable piece of music from the entire game, but one melody still has it beat in structure and complexity, and that is rank number 1, the Sorceress Town theme. Now, the funny part about the Warlock, Barbarian, and Knights themes is that they all start with the main melody almost immediately, kinda like Battle Theme 2 does as well. They hit you with the main melody, and after playing for a little while, they hit a kind of a lull, a kind of a low reprise section, where they try out slightly different instrumentations, play it a little bit more quietly, whereas the Sorceress Town does the absolute opposite. It starts with this very quiet picking of the harp at the start. Very quiet orchestral bits are the ones that actually kick it off. Then the harp just goes off the rails. I really like this because, whereas with the Knight theme and the Barbarian theme, and I guess the Warlock theme, the longer you stay in the castle view, the more the music kind of starts to put you to sleep a little bit. The Sorceress Town does the exact opposite, and the longer you stay on the castle view, the better the music gets and the more excited you get. I remember being so surprised hearing that rise in the musical theme for the first time, because I wasn't expecting it. The adjective that best describes this theme is victorious. And that was the ranking. Tell me, what are your favorite pieces of music from Heroes of Might and Magic? I'm TheHande. See you on the next one.